For dinner tonight, I am cooking up a whole chicken and my oven is still dead. So I'm using my Kosori air fryer oven and it's working great for this. This does have a rotisserie in it. I could have done that, but it just takes so much work to get it all tied up and maneuvered and everything. So I just opted to put it into the air fryer basket, and I have the drip pan underneath, or the roasting pan underneath, to catch all the drippings, but I lined it in foil just to make it way easier to clean. So I'm cooking that up. It'll take probably 45 minutes to an hour for that really to cook all the way. After it's done, I might take the drippings and make some rice. We call it chicken rice, and everybody loves that. And then I have some salad mix that needs to be used up, so I'm gonna probably just throw together a salad. For the chicken, all I did was put some bacon fat on it, and then put some various seasoning salt from Trader Joe's, onion salt from Trader Joe's, and a little more black pepper, and it smells really good. What do you want to see? You want to see the bread? It's flour. Is it good? Good. The drippings from the chicken look a little bit burnt since they're in the air fryer, so I'm just gonna cook rice just with actually I think I have some broth that needs to be used up. I'll probably use some broth. 4 cups of jasmine rice, rinsed, and then I'm gonna do 4 cups of liquid, probably a combination of broth and water. I did have some turkey broth actually from Christmas that's really good, so this rice is gonna be really yummy. Add a little extra salt. What do you have to say now? You got your yai-yai? Yai-yai is his blankie. Alright, gonna do 4 minutes on high pressure and then at least a 5-minute pressure release, natural pressure release. Oh, I have a lot of beeping going on because my air fryer just finished with the chicken. So high pressure, 4 minutes, at least a 5-minute natural pressure release. I ended up cooking the chicken for a total of 1 hour, and it should be done. I'd be surprised if it wasn't done at this point. It's got 25 seconds left. And I put a little bit of foil over the chicken because it was getting too brown. I didn't want the seasonings to burn, so I just put a little tiny piece of foil over the top so it wouldn't burn. It's done. Are you hungry for some chicken?
Yeah.
Po's hungry for some chicken. What is that? Is it look good?
Yeah.
You want to eat some? Oh, the rice is done. Now it just needs to sit in natural pressure release for a few minutes. When I cut in to check the chicken, it was not done. And I'm going to have to put it in for a while longer, maybe 15 more minutes, I think, because it was pretty pink. I know you want to eat it. I know you want to eat it. I've been so disappointed with this oven. I feel like I have to cook things twice as long as in an air fryer or as in my old oven. It's just not as powerful as I would hope it would be. I know I want to eat it too. It's almost ready. Oh, I know it's taking so long. Chicken took a total of 1 hour and 15 minutes. Everything else is ready. It's just some leftover ranch, homemade ranch, salad, fresh bread that I baked this afternoon, rice, and chicken. That's dinner tonight. It's all hands on deck for dinner tonight, pulling out 2 Instant Pots to get things going. It's actually early. It's only 12:23, but I'm making wild rice soup for dinner with leftover chicken from last night. For whatever reason, there weren't very many people excited about the chicken I made last night. I guess people weren't very hungry. So I have a lot of chicken left over, which will be great for the soup. I saved the chicken carcass, and these are some wing tips I had from the other week when I was cutting up chicken wings, and so I'm going to make some broth in here, And then in the other Instant Pot, I'm going to pre-cook my wild rice. So I'll get that all cooked up this afternoon, and then when it's closer to dinner time, I will chop up the veggies for the soup and then be able to throw everything together, and I'll probably cook the soup in the same Instant Pot that I cooked the broth in. You dancing? I'm keeping the broth really simple, just salt and pepper, and then the chicken bones and the water. I think I will cook it for about 2 hours. It's already on 2 hours. That's good. High pressure. Since I'm going to be putting veggies and all the spices and stuff in the soup, I'm not worrying about making a super flavorful broth. Also, I have a bunch of gravy, turkey gravy left over from Christmas, and I just want to get it used up, and I'm out of mashed potatoes. So I'm going to throw the gravy into the soup. That'll help thicken it, and I'll add really good flavor. For wild rice, I do a 1-to-3 ratio of rice to water. A little bit of salt, and then cook time. What are you doing, Levi? Cook time is like 20 to 25 minutes. And since the wild rice is going to cook with the soup a little bit, I'm going to go on the low end. So I will do 20 minutes on high pressure. Levi's being very loud back there. All right, go to high pressure there, and then I'll do like at least a 10-minute natural pressure release, and I'll probably just sit until I'm ready to deal with it. I got a couple batches of the no-knead bread dough going yesterday, and it's ready to bake, and that'll be perfect for with the wild rice soup tonight. So I'm going to get that baked. I'm so glad that my little Dutch oven fits into this oven because my big oven is still out of commission. So I'm really thankful that that fits, because that would have been hard if I couldn't do my bread every day like I've been doing. What I've found that works best, both in my big oven that has a convection fan and in this one, is to, you preheat it with the Dutch oven in there. And let's see, I go up to 425. This knob is really awful. It makes me so upset because you can't just go like this and turn it. It doesn't go. You have to go super slow, and still it doesn't go all the time. Look at that. I've been turning it and it's barely going. I'm really thankful that I have this oven, but it is definitely not my favorite oven or air fryer at all. But we're making it work with what we've got. Finally, there we go. And then I put it at 46 minutes, and I let it preheat with the Dutch oven in there. Then I put the dough in, and then I let it cook for 30 minutes without a convection fan, with the lid on. And then I take the lid off, and then I turn on the convection fan and let it cook the last 15 or so minutes. And that is what I have found works best for getting the best loaf. The way I've been doing my bread recently, I don't even have to touch the dough. All I do is this is how it looks after it's sat for about 18 to 24 hours. And then I just scrape the sides with a spatula while the oven is preheating. I just used my spatula to form it into a ball like that. And then I cover it again and let it rest until it's time to put it in the oven. And then I just use my spatula to plop it into the pan, so I never even have to touch the dough. the soup is going, and I had about a quart of broth left over to stick in the fridge for something else. And then I just used half of the wild rice. I cooked 2 cups, and so it's about 1 cup for the big pot of soup. And this, once it cools a little bit more, I will put it in a freezer Ziploc bag and freeze it, and then it'll be easy to pull out next time I want to make wild rice soup. Also, I wanted to mention that I do have this recipe written out and a whole video on the recipe itself, but when I cook it myself, I don't usually measure things. I just throw in however it works out. And so if you go to that recipe and it's not exactly like what I just did, don't be surprised. Also, I did put that gravy in there from Christmas, and so obviously that's not part of the original recipe. It's been sitting on keep warm mode for 17 minutes. Still a little bit of pressure left. I just let that go real quick. I have arrowroot starch over here to thicken, and half and half. And that'll make it nice and thick and creamy. I might as well just use up all of my half and half. There was already some arrowroot in from the gravy, so I just did a little bit, 2 tablespoons, and hopefully that'll be plenty. Smells so good, and today is a very cold and rainy day, so it's a perfect day for soup. Nobody in the house likes soup that's really soupy, like with lots of broth, so this is perfect for everybody. So I make wild rice soup with chicken or turkey, or even with ham, or with bacon, or you can just add bacon crumbles on the top, no matter what meat you use. But it's really versatile. You can kind of use up whatever leftovers you have. I have leftover ham from Christmas, and I cubed it up or diced it up and put it in the freezer. So I have like 3 freezer bags of ham, and at some point I'm going to use this leftover wild rice and a bag of the ham, throw that together with the broth and the veggies and everything, and have another nice pot of wild rice soup, but wild rice soup with ham. So one of my favorite kitchen tips is to always be thinking ahead to future meals. Like, for example, I have that leftover wild rice that I'm thinking ahead towards another time when I'm making wild rice soup, and so just making that meal easier. The broth, I have the leftover broth, so I can put that away for another meal. And like yesterday when I was cooking the chicken, I knew that it wasn't all going to get eaten. I thought more was going to get eaten, but I knew it wasn't all going to get eaten. And so I was planning on using that for the wild rice soup, and just kind of, instead of just thinking about the meal that you're on, think about some future meals. And that's kind of a first step towards meal planning. Of course, you can get really elaborate and plan all of your meals and think through an entire week or an entire month of meals. But if you're not ready to jump into that, or if you just, cook by the seat of your pants, kind of like I do, just thinking at least about, tomorrow's meal or another meal in the week, and ways that you can, double up on work in this meal that'll make future meal easier. And that is dinner for tonight. I will link the recipe for the wild rice soup down in the description and up in the cards if you're interested in that. And I will see you again in the next video.